Hello Pisces, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of March 5th through 11th. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything that you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments down below, okay? This is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and, use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I'm providing. Okay. Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that, we've got the Prince of Cups, little air of water energy. Let's put that into some context. We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. And we're going to see what we can find out about that person, about your circumstances and your situation for this week. All right. Got those cards lined up. Now we're going to take our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. And this is the card that we don't look at until the very end. We're going to leave that right there. And hopefully that will, tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. So you do have to stick around until the end. Okay, so who is this water sign person in your life? This could sort of be representing you at the moment, okay? And we're gonna see as we go through this process whether or not this card is actually referring to some state of your energy right now, or if this is another person that's involved here. We do see another court card down here at the bottom of the path of the serpent, so we're kind of beginning the path of the dove with a court card. We're beginning the path of the serpent with a court card. So whether this is you or the other person, I think that this situation is involving someone else in your life, okay? Whether they are the air or the water, I'm not really too sure yet, but we'll find out. I think in general, though, you're the type of person who is a little bit, maybe a little bit secretive about your kind of true nature, your true feelings, I think you feel a little bit guarded, okay? And that's some energy that I'm getting off of this Prince of Cups. I feel like you have this real intensity about you. It could be that you have this kind of secret wish, this secret aspiration, something that you really intensely believe and feel and want to do, but it's kind of like you're not really sharing it, right? It's almost like people look to you to be the voice of reason. People look to you maybe to be the guide, the mentor, the adult in the room, So it's almost like you're not really... You feel as if you're not really allowed to have these kinds of like flights of fancy. You're not allowed to have this really intense, imaginative inner world, or you do, but it's something that you can't share. I think the circumstances of your life, at least recently, have been a little bit on the practical side. We see some indication of that, but the primary focus really is on this internal world. Okay. And I think it is something that you've kind of been having to keep secret almost. It's just like you're not really, you're not comfortable yet really sharing your kind of true nature, your true self, your inner world with others, okay? I think there may be one particular person that you want to share this with. I don't know necessarily that you're in a romantic situation with this person. If we take these two cards together, they are perhaps not in a romantic relationship, but it is a closeness, okay? It could very well be a domestic partner. It could be a spouse or something, but I just feel like the romance of it isn't really front and center right now. I think it's more about intimacy, but on a different level, a deeper level, okay? Maybe perhaps a more spiritual level. So I feel like there are parts of you that you're not really able to share, okay? I think you have a lot of creativity, a lot of imagination, a lot of like fantasy, a lot of like creative ideas, creative pursuits, but they still kind of remain internally. It's just like you haven't yet expressed them. You haven't yet communicated to your person that you have these kinds of these thoughts, these feelings, the aspirations, right? This imagination, this creative will. And I think that really maybe this is the week where some of that changes. Okay. I see in the recent past we do have this Mercury energy. So I almost feel like you tried to communicate your kind of your true nature, okay? And I know that's pretty non-specific. You know, what is your true nature? I think it's different for everyone. I think the idea here is that it's something you're concealing, right? It's something that in the current circumstances you haven't yet felt comfortable enough or perhaps connected enough to this person to really share who you really are inside, okay? I feel like in the past there was some circumstances where you decided to be vulnerable. You tried to express yourself. And I think that I almost feel like you were kind of ridiculed for it, or that it was, I'm getting this sense of the Mercury here kind of laughing about things, you know? Laughing because you're trying to express yourself, but the circumstances or the response from the world around you isn't really what you were expecting, and so you kind of now are withdrawing even more, right? So I feel like you tried to express yourself to maybe this same person, maybe this was in a past relationship or a past partnership of some kind. This could all be taking place at work too. You know, it could be this desire for you to express yourself, but a reluctance. And that reluctance, I think, is because in the past, it didn't really work out so well. I feel like you perhaps were made to feel foolish. This could be a fool energy over here in the mystery card. But I feel like you have that desire and that impulse, and you want to express yourself. You want to reveal and show the world, or at least show your person, who you really are, what you're really about, what you really feel and desire and want, and just kind of the inner parts of your soul, right? But in the past, there was this situation that didn't work out so well. I feel like you were made to feel very self-conscious and almost ashamed, or you know what I mean? I feel like there's this laughter at you, and I feel like that really closed you off even more, okay? I feel that it's kind of just, it's given you this impulse or this desire to just kind of stay in your house. You know what I mean? You stay within your dwelling where it's safe, where you can be yourself, right? And you don't have to explain it to anyone. You don't have to open yourself up to anyone else, which, you know, makes you vulnerable to that kind of feeling again, right? To kind of being attacked, right? Or being made to feel foolish about something. So there's this tendency now for you to really keep things inside, okay? And interestingly, we see some really strong cards in terms of your character, right? And your kind of inner nature. First thing, well, let's go to the 9. We see a real inner strength with you. This is a real commitment to your own beliefs. This is a real strength of will. And I think that you're pretty much the kind of person that believes in something so strongly that no one can change your mind, even if it means that you have to do this yourself, even if it means staying within your dwelling, right? Staying inside of your home where it's safe, where you can be yourself, because you would rather be alone and be true to yourself than to make all these connections outside but have to conceal yourself, okay? So I think you are in some sort of a situation like that now. There is this one particular person, maybe they're an air sign person, but it's someone with whom you are almost ready to reveal yourself. You know, you're almost ready to kind of show them who you really are. And I think that you have this really strong commitment to your beliefs and to yourself, right? To your will. So the part of the problem here is, what if they don't respond the way you would like them to, right? What if they don't seem receptive, or they don't seem like they're really resonating with you? you're going to have to let them go. Because that's how committed you are to what you believe in, that if somebody isn't going to be supportive of you, they have to go. Okay? And this is a real, you know yourself. You know yourself. And you want this person, you want other people to know you as well. But in the course of your life so far, those attempts have not really been met with very much acceptance. Okay. But I'm happy to see this, because this is telling me that it hasn't changed you. Right? It hasn't stopped you from pursuing those interests, even if you have to do so in that kind of solitary way. You know? But I think, honestly, in this current situation, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I really do. We see in the present circumstances the star energy. I think this star, this is, you know, if it's your kind of distant, my long hair is falling out. If you have these kind of distant aspirations, this ideal, this one kind of shining light that you're holding up and saying, yes, this is the kind of life I want, this is the relationship I want, that sort of idealism, I think, is getting closer to you. Or you're approaching it, you're getting closer to it. Okay? Because we see a lot of movement with Mercury here, very fast moving. We see the Prince of Cups very fast moving. And it's all going toward this star, which, as we know, is a distant point of light, right? We don't really honestly know too much about it, but we know that's what we aspire to. And that, I think, is the kind of life that you want to lead, the kind of relationship that you want to have, the circumstances of your life, excuse me, that you are aspiring to. I think it's getting closer and closer and closer. And I think really it's because you just don't give up. You know, if one situation comes along that isn't exactly what you want or what you need, you have no problem moving on. You stay committed to yourself, and no matter what happens, you don't give up. You have this strength about you, this conviction, this knowledge of self, this commitment to yourself, that you're not going to put up with anyone or anything that doesn't resonate with you. Okay? And this star energy is really, I think, showing a kind of surprise realization here. This is something unexpected. Okay? This, I think, is your worries about this relationship, or about, you know, maybe this week you're going to really try to start to reveal parts of yourself to your person, I think is this air sign person. You're going to try to kind of begin the process, begin that conversation, you know. And I think it's going to surprise you how well it's going to go. Okay? I think you have these worries that it's going to just be kind of the same thing that always happens, you know. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with that star energy. And here is the Ace of Swords. This is really basically saying the same thing as that Nine of Wands, right? This inner strength, this inner conviction. It's like you do know yourself so well. I think you've had in your life a lot of these kinds of enlightenment experiences. Okay? And I've been using that word more lately, but it's not something that I typically say a lot, is this, you know, idea of enlightenment. I think we have moments of enlightenment. I think there is no permanent state of enlightenment. I almost think it's more an enlightening. It's a process. It's a verb. It's something that continues, that we have to try to sustain. Right? It's not something that just happens once and, oh, there we go, we're done. It's a process, you know, it's an action word, it's a verb. So this enlightening, I think, is something that you've been striving for, and that you've really done that work on yourself. I think you've had a lot of moments of this enlightening, and it's done nothing but strengthen your conviction in what you believe, your own personal truth. Okay? And really, it seems as if you're using this personal truth of yours to try to find, you know, what is the relationship for you? Where are you meant to be? Who are you meant to be with? You know, I think you've maybe had to go through quite a few duds. But I think maybe now you've found that person. You know, I think maybe this is it. And this is the sword that kind of cuts through the BS, cuts through the nonsense, and really doesn't waste a lot of time. I think that you're someone who doesn't like to remain in a situation that isn't quite doing it for you, that isn't quite working. So this is the sword that can either completely cut you off from someone else. This is the sword that can cut through some of this fear and worry, can cut through some of the smoke that surrounds a situation so that you can understand, that you can get the clarity that you need to really see what this is and then make a decision. Do you move on? Do you stick around? Is this the one? Is this worth your efforts? Etc. Right? So this is the clarity of your perception, both externally and internally, right? Aimed at yourself. And I really do think that this is the week for a real surprise. Real surprise. We have these major arcana here. If you look at the overhead camera, we go from major, major to major. Okay, so this is the past event. This is kind of almost, Mercury or Hermes as the trickster kind of preparing you for today by kind of making you go through a lot of really just kind of bad things, bad experiences, failed relationships, this kind of turmoil that we were talking about when, you try to express yourself and it's not received well. That is just, you start to feel foolish, you start to feel kind of hopeless that you're never going to find someone that really understands you, that really resonates with you. That's Mercury just getting a little bit of a chuckle because it's preparing the way. It's strengthening these wands and swords that you have above you and below you. The inner strength, the outward clarity, and this sword that you wield, that you're not going to tolerate something that isn't working, and you've got the clarity and the knowledge and the insight to see something when it is working, to see what things really, really are, right? And the conviction not to give up on your own goals, hopes, dreams, aspirations. So we see some initials. I see the B, I see an H, and I see a Z. Now, I don't know if those are your initials, the other person's initials are in some way related to this activity, but it's quite interesting because we also have a sword here as kind of associated with this card. This card rules the sign of Gemini, right? And it is kind of this sword that is dividing Gemini, that is kind of cutting between these two figures, that is trying to see what is really between them, right? So we've got this card here, and this is a few things. This is the potential, right? It's in the position of the immediate future. Or in this case, maybe this is like what we're hoping is the future. Our kind of desired outcome, desired future. The lovers. Perfect, ideal relationship. Two people coming together under love and devotion and understanding. Real spiritual union, right? And this is what we're kind of hoping for. This is almost as if this distant star that we aspire to is getting closer, and we can see now what it actually looks like in practice. As it gets closer, we start to see the details, right? So I think it is getting closer. I think this is what you're hoping for. This is the outcome that you really want. Okay. Now this is also you taking this sword and being as objective as possible, and not just, well, I hope this is what I want, so I'm going to just kind of cherry pick the information so that it fits what I'm expecting, It's kind of this bias that we have to only see what we want to see that's going to make us feel the best. So this is using that sword of discernment and discrimination to cut between and see what's between the lines, see what is between the two of you, to get a sense of the reality of things. Okay, so this is kind of an objective. It's using your clarity, your enlightening, and seeing what is really between the two of you. Not fooling yourself. I still wonder if this is going to be that fool energy, that mystery card. So the desired outcome, I think, is, it's going to be a choice. It's going to really be, this is what we're hoping for, and this is kind of the method that we're using to see if this is indeed what we're hoping for. If this is going to represent or materialize or manifest in a way that it's going to resonate with us. I think with this star card, it's pretty good chance that this is going to be the closest to your ideal that you have gotten. Right, that you have ever come. Moving over to the path of the serpent now, this is that air sign person. I almost feel like this is someone younger than you. I feel they, like I said, may be an air sign. But I definitely am getting this younger vibe. And I think with this youth kind of comes this, this natural curiosity, this natural interest, this natural tolerance or acceptance or openness kind of thing. The things that you may share with this person might be entirely new to them, but they're going to be intensely open to it and receptive. They've got this, they're really going to try to understand. They're really going to be interested and really want to know. So I feel like this is a person that is kind of, because we said at the beginning that you kind of had this, You've had this role in your life where people expect you to be the voice of reason. They expect you to be the adult in the room to kind of take care of things, right? So it's difficult for you then to feel that the vibes are there, that you can express your true self, because you have to kind of have this persona like 24/7, And I think this is one of those kind of people who are used to you being a very, very practical or very kind of like leadership oriented, very responsible, very much in charge. You are kind of like the adult in the room, And I think that when you do open up and you start to connect with this person on this deeper level, they're going to see a side of you that is a little bit different than what they're used to. Okay, so that might indicate some challenges at the beginning. Okay, and so we have the Princess of Swords. Beginning this dialogue, there might be some stumbles at the beginning. There might be a little bit of a challenge to kind of get the ball rolling. Okay. And I really think that's just because of the dynamic. Maybe this person isn't younger than you, but I feel like there's almost this this perceived, like there's a virtual split in the age range here. There's a virtual distance in age or in maturity or in like level of responsibility. Okay. So it is a bit of a challenge to kind of get that ball rolling. What we see in the environment, though, too, is this Four of Wands. Now, this is a completion. I almost feel like there are things in your environment, in your world, in your practical life that now are finishing out their cycle. Okay, so this could be that you've finished up some kind of a work thing. Maybe you're moving into your kind of post-career phase of life. Maybe this is a reprioritizing of your life. You've kind of finished up some projects and now you're going to move on to more, more spiritual things or more kind of personal, creative endeavors for you. You're looking to make this kind of change in your life because I feel like there's something that's wrapped up recently. And this could be a move. This could be something that you've completed, purchasing a new home or moving into a new home. This could be a job change. This could be really just moving into your retirement era of your life. And if that's the case, congratulations. I'm looking forward to that myself. So, this is the situation is kind of changing for you now. You're starting to think about other important things in your life. I was going to say more important, but can't say one thing is more important than the other. It's just different priorities at different times in our lives, So I think your priorities are changing now. And whether you're just kind of moving into your career phase or you're moving in to the post-career phase, the retirement phase, I feel like something's wrapped up now. And you're starting to shift your focus. Your priorities are shifting. And I think that is causing the environment to change now in a way where you feel like, okay, now's the time that I really have to be me. I really have to express myself, live how I want to live, do the things I want to do. If this is the person to share it with, well, then that's just top notch. But if they're not, time's running on. You've got to get moving, you know? So the next card we see is this Capricorn energy, this Devil card. If necessary, you can do this alone. You can continue to climb this mountain and make your progress and do your spiritual work and live your practical life and all of this stuff by yourself. If you have to, you don't absolutely need this kind of, deep love, romantic, whatever kind of connection in order to succeed and to do the things you want to do. If you don't find the right person, you're more than happy just taking yourself on vacation, right? It's not a deep-seated need to be in a relationship. You want to find this person. You have your ideals of what exactly you want in your life, and it's starting to become more clear. Again, we said with this star energy, as you get closer and closer, you start to feel, you start to sense the details of what it is that you really want. Maybe in years past, it was still that distant point of light. We weren't really sure what it looked like. We knew kind of how it felt, and we knew we wanted to get there. We didn't really know what it looked like. It's starting to get closer now. The details are becoming more clear, okay? And, this is some very strong energy, too. This is a real independence, okay? And this position is your fears and worries, so it is kind of like, it is kind of in the back of your mind that, hey, this might not work out. You might still have to continue this journey alone. You are okay with that. You would prefer to have every aspect of your life in this ideal fashion. And I think we have this desired outcome, which seems to me like a very definite possibility. But you're okay if it has to be a little bit more solitude, if you have to do this yourself for a while. Because again, you'd rather do things alone and do it your way and be yourself and have that freedom than to be in a situation or relationship or partnership that is not allowing you to really be your true self. Now, again, this could be all taking place within your employment, within your career. Okay, it doesn't have to be like a life partner or a romantic partner. Okay, but if this, maybe this air sign person is not. Maybe it's not a person. Maybe this is the company that you are kind of considering spending your working years with. It could be that, okay? I just want to say that we're open to interpretation. There's no guidelines here that this has to be exactly these details. And that's why I ask you to use your own intuition. Connect with these cards yourself and see how they can apply to your life. Okay. The final card on the path of the Serpent is the Ace of Discs. I definitely feel like this is going to be something new. Okay, I don't feel like this is going to be the same old kind of situation for you. I think Mercury is kind of done playing his practical jokes on you, and you've learned the wisdom from these past experiences, right? It's not just Mercury being a dickhead and playing jokes on you. It's for a reason. It's to build you up. It's to fortify you. It's to increase your strength and resolve. It is to increase your wisdom and your clarity and your own truth. Okay? And I think Mercury has done that. But I think now what you're going to experience is something brand new. Something unlike anything that you've had before. Okay? But this is still a seed of that. This still needs to grow to become what it's meant to be. We can get a handful of seeds, blindly throw them into the soil. We're not sure which one is going to grow into a tree. And if we're not, if we don't really know our seeds, botany, I don't know. If we don't know what the seeds are, we have no idea what it's going to grow into, if it grows into anything at all, right? That's the thing about seeds. That's what I'm learning as every year I try my hand at growing more plants. I love to grow herbs and stuff like that, but I'm not very good at it. So if we don't recognize the seed, we don't really know what it's going to grow into, if it grows into anything at all, okay? And that's kind of the situation that we're in now. So the mystery card, what is it? I thought maybe this would be the Fool, but now we're ending with this Earth energy. I think this is going to show the struggle. This is going to show how we're growing this this tree, kind of what we're up against in terms of growing this relationship, this partnership, or just this getting closer to this ideal, manifesting our ideal life, you know? So I don't think Fool energy anymore. Maybe Eight of Discs, because we're going from the discs here. I think the Eight of Discs is a little too passive of a card. It'd be too much of a just kind of take it slow and cautious, and I don't think we're in the mood for that. I think we need something more energetic. We've got fire here down below. We've got some fire in your environment. I think fire, right? Now, what kind of fire is going to show us the struggle and really having to put our best effort into it, use our fiery energy, really work hard to build this thing and to see if it's going to grow into our ideals. We already have the discernment and the wisdom to kind of see between the lines, see what really is between the two of you. And if we want to reach this ideal outcome, if your kind of clarity of vision gives you the green light and says A-OK, then comes the hard work. Seven of Wands. There we go. Seven of Wands. This is showing the hard work. You know, this is showing that the ideal outcome that we want is very much a possibility, but we've got to put in the effort. We've got to put in the work. And like I said, the initial dialogue is going to be a little difficult. Okay, it's going to take a little bit to get the ball rolling, but once it gets rolling, I think it's going to be really wonderful. I think it's going to be a lot of hard work, and I think that any normal person may quit and give up, but not you. You've got this Nine of Wands, this real strength of character, this inner resolve, and you've got that Ace of Swords. Like, this is just, you know, you're in a really perfect position right now, perfect state of being. Your energy seems like it's really, really strong right now, and especially with all of the major arcana that we see, I think that you can manifest your ideal life. It's just going to take more hard work. But that's okay, because you know that this ideal, this distant star, is getting closer and closer and closer. So you're up against a challenge, but I'm confident you can handle it. I think you're confident that you can handle it. So we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, click on the link that's right up here, and you can have access to all of the extended readings. Okay. I am still doing personal readings. The windows for those are going to be closing soon. So if you want one, I am going to be, I read and film every Saturday for the private reading. So whenever you send me an email with the payment and with your questions, I'll be filming your reading that very next Saturday. Okay, so you'll get the link to your reading either Saturday night or Sunday morning. Okay. That's just going to be for maybe a couple more weeks, and then I'm going to have to close the window down, because especially as we get into spring and the summertime, things really pick up around here, you know. So if you want one of those, I'll be more than happy to do it for probably the next few weeks. Okay. Thank you very much for being here and for watching this reading. I hope it resonated with you. I hope you'll leave me some comments. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you're feeling. This was your weekly reading, March 5th through 11th on Dove and Serpent Tarot.